In episode 2 of Lanterns, the mystery of this entire show has come to light. It has been revealed which aliens were in the Roswell film and whom they had come for. We got to see John's tremendous willpower in this episode, and Hal met his old mentor. So let's begin the breakdown of this amazing episode. So this episode began with Hal giving John the ring so that he could fly. But it wasn't that easy for John. When he imagined flying, he created a bird that didn't disappear even after he took off the ring. Now this is a bit strange. Any construct a Green Lantern makes with their ring should vanish the second the ring is removed from the finger. But in John's case, that wasn't happening, which confirms one thing. John Stewart's willpower is very strong. So strong that the bird didn't vanish even miles away from the ring. Plus, another great thing is that the bird is sentient. That means it was flying on its own. When Anton's people were making John feel like a manhunter's captive, the bird tried to stop them. This in itself is really a huge thing. However, what John Stewart has done in the comics is even bigger proof of John's tremendous willpower. In Justice League Volume 4, Issue Number 2, John Stewart brought a Green Lantern ring into existence with his willpower. Not only that, in the comics, he has so much mastery over his ring that he doesn't make anything hollow. His constructs are as well designed on the inside as they are on the outside. He is even so precise that he can make his constructs down to the isotropic level. Maybe the series will show the story of his tremendous willpower through his backstory. So that was the explanation of John's bird. Now let's come to the Roswell aliens and the tech that detected them. In the episode, Hal goes back to the stadium and figures out that the 4 people killed there were all aliens. That is, how did the killer know he was killing aliens? First, he passes through a metal detector himself, but the detector doesn't detect the metal in his belt. Then he goes to get the alien bodies, brings them to the stadium, and passes them through the detector, where the detector beeps as soon as the alien bodies are near. Obviously, this is not normal tech. And if a Green Lantern himself is saying this, it's something to think about, because a Green Lantern has seen a lot across the galaxy. So finding such tech in a small area of Earth is a big deal in itself. But here come some terms. First, let's talk about the Manhunters. Anton and his people pick up John from Hal's house, where they make it clear that they are the same aliens whose some companions were killed in Roswell, and they had gone there to find a Manhunter. Now, who is this Manhunter? In the comics, before the Guardians created a space police like the Green Lanterns, they created the Manhunters. The Manhunters were doing the same work that the Green Lanterns do now. But here a problem arose. The Manhunters were synthetic. The Guardians had programmed the Manhunters as an emotionless police force. During criminal hunting, the Manhunters concluded that the root of all crime is emotional response, and emotions exist only in organic beings. So they decided that if they had to eliminate crime from its roots, they would have to wipe out all organic life in the universe. This would maintain order. Then the Manhunters descended on Sector 666, and the massacre of the worlds of Sector 666 began. In this massacre, only 5 beings survived, who blamed the Guardians, whose Manhunters did this to them. Then the Guardians came to destroy the Manhunters, but they couldn't destroy all of them. Some survived and hid on some planets, where their goal now is to wipe out organic life as well as the Guardians and their Green Lanterns. And this is what happened in this entire episode. The guy telling John about all this is Anton. Now, there is no character named Anton in DC Comics. However, in the comics, the leader of those who survived the Manhunters massacre became Atrocitus, who in the comics is a Red Lantern. Just as Green Lantern's powers come from their will, Red Lantern's powers come from rage. Atrocitus is the leader of the Red Lanterns, and many fans believe that Anton shown in the show is actually Red Lantern Atrocitus. And somewhere this theory seemed somewhat correct in this episode because Anton being impressed by John's bird, his telling John that he wants to recruit him, his saying that a manhunter killed his people, all these things are making it clear that Anton is Atrocitus. Now Anton tells John that the manhunter's killing of his people drew the attention of a Green Lantern, who captured that manhunter and took him away. But Anton feels that the manhunter is still alive and is in Roswell. This matches the story Hal told about Abin Sur, meaning Abin Sur was taking the manhunter with him when he crash-landed in Roswell for some reason. And this could be the reason that there is a manhunter in Roswell, who might be the boss of William Macon, who gave Macon advanced technology with which he could detect aliens, and put fear of alien invasion in William's mind. That's why when Anton's people came there to find that manhunter, they were killed by William Macon's people. Now let's come to Hal's house. Hal tells John that he got the house from some rich man, where we see a photo in which Hal is with Harry Potter film actors. From this one thing is absolutely clear. Hal is a huge Harry Potter fan. He also asked a Harry Potter-related question during interrogation in the previous episode. Further, there is a photo of him with the Pope, which shows that Hal is a famous guy. Right here, John notices 3 Green Lantern uniforms. He places one in front of him and looks at it. It is clear that John wants to become a Green Lantern with all his heart. This could be his childhood dream. We saw in the first episode how while all his brothers were scared of watching Hal's interview, John didn't care. He is not as afraid of his father, as he is a big fan of Hal. This is the reason that after meeting him, he was a bit disappointed because the image of a perfect hero in his mind has now been erased. Now here John comes to Hal's lantern box, which opens with Hal's voice. Now what Hal says to open the box made every Green Lantern fan happy. Hal says, "Mogo doesn't socialize." And this is true. Mogo is a sentient living planet who is also a Green Lantern. And because it is a planet, it doesn't socialize with other Green Lanterns. That's why Hal is saying, "Mogo doesn't socialize." Plus, Mogo is responsible for delivering a Green Lantern's ring to the next sentient being after a Green Lantern dies. Now let's talk about this box. This is the 3rd pocket dimension we have seen in this new DC universe. Before this, we saw the Quantum Unfolding Chamber in Peacemaker, which is an extra-dimensional pocket universe currently with Argus. The second was the pocket dimension built by Lex and his company, which he was using as his private project. All the mess shown in Peacemaker happened because of Lex's unstable pocket dimension. So how will Argus feel knowing that Hal Jordan also kept a pocket dimension in his house? Now, from this pocket dimension box, John takes out a power battery. I told you in the previous episode's breakdown that a Green Lantern ring only has a 48-hour charge. After that, the Green Lantern has to charge the ring from their power battery. Now this charging concept from the comics is proving very useful for the show's makers because this way they are saving the budget for showing Green Lantern power effects. However, Hal charging his ring from it was awesome, where he says the Green Lantern Corps oath. "In brightest day, in blackest night, no evil shall escape my sight." And so on. Now here is another thought-provoking thing. Anton has given John only 48 hours, after which Roswell will begin to explode, while Hal has also just charged his ring, and his ring also has a 48-hour charge. So the thing to see is whether there will be enough charge left at the end of 48 hours to stop everything. At the end of the episode, Hal puts on his uniform and goes to meet a prisoner and an old mentor of the Green Lantern Corps, Thale Sinestro. Sinestro is a famous Green Lantern villain in DC Comics, who used to be a Green Lantern before. We will probably learn his backstory later in the series. Sinestro was considered the greatest Green Lantern among the Green Lanterns. In his Sector 1417, no crime remained while he was there. Hal was his last student. That's why here we see Elle going to Sinestro to find answers to some questions. Now Sinestro was not just a Green Lantern. He was the best friend of Abin Sur, the previous owner of Hal's Green Lantern ring. In the comics, Sinestro was also married to Abin Sur's sister, Erin. So when Hal asks Sinestro about the Manhunters, Sinestro says that if Manhunters exist, they would be the second biggest threat for him, where he might consider himself the first biggest threat. However, here the surprising thing is how Sinestro knows about John Stewart, because if we follow the comic story, Sinestro went to jail only a short time after Hal became a Green Lantern. So how did he learn about John in jail? Here in the episode, John meets William's wife, Joy, again, where he tells her that he can't understand whether he should trust Hal or not. To which Joy says that if he had to ask this question, then maybe he already knows the answer. Now John doesn't know Hal very well, so that's why this question is in his mind. However, somewhere Joy is creating doubt in his mind, which, believe it or not, could be the work of a Manhunter. But this is just my suspicion. I mentioned in the previous episode that the actress playing Joy would not be brought in just as a simple side character. Her role is big in this show, and it will only be known ahead whether she is on the side of the good people or the foolish people. Now let's focus a bit on Sheriff Carey. Carey tells Hal in the hospital that she has come here from Gotham. Carey's full name is Carey Kane. In the comics, the Kane family is a wealthy family from Gotham. Plus, the original Batwoman, Kathy Kane, belonged to this family. On top of all this, in New 52, Batwoman Kate Kane was the cousin of Batman Bruce Wayne. Because in New 52, Bruce's mother was Martha Kane. So if in DC Studios 2 Batman's mother is from the Kane family, then it means Sheriff Carey here is a relative of Bruce Wayne. Whereas you must have noticed that in the Batman movie, Martha Wayne is said to be from Gotham's other rich family, the Arkhams. So friends, this was the breakdown of Lanterns episode 2. I am very happy that here, following the comic book route, a lot of information is being told in a very smooth way. Now it remains to be seen whether the real trouble is the Manhunter or Anton. If you want to know in detail about Sinestro and the Green Lantern Corps, then I will recommend our Injustice, Gods Among Us Year 2. That entire series is only about lanterns. Let's talk about it in detail in the comments. If you like the breakdown, do like. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Also, take a step forward and support your favorite channel by taking membership. Thank you guys. This is Anna, and you are super peace.